Hello and welcome to part 19 of the Micky head tutorial set. This is David Ward, and last I left you we had gotten a basic rig set up for his head and neck and shoulders and eyeballs and everything. So now we're going to go ahead and clear everything out there. Select everything and Alt-R to clear out the rotation, Alt-G to clear out the location, and then if you had scaled anything you could hit Alt-S and that would clear out the scale, but we didn't scale anything. So anyways, let's go ahead and grab the head itself, clear out all of the shape keys that we had turned on. And now I'm going to get in here to the rig again, and we're going to add extra bones in different places to control the underlying mesh and its shape key. So I'm going to create a new layer here on the armature layers panel there. I'm going to hold down Shift and go ahead and turn that one on. And so now, whenever I put a bone in, let's put a bone here for the lower eyelid. Go ahead and move over here, click it in place there. Okay, now I'm going to go Shift A, and we're going to actually tab into edit mode first, Shift A, and then we can add a new bone. And drag that down. Go ahead and grab the whole thing, Alt Control S, make it skinnier, and then just S to scale it down. Just move it into place about right there. Then I'm going to go ahead and make it a little wider. Control Alt S X, and then make it a little wider. So this will be his lower eyelid controller. You can see right now the two orange dots that signifies that it's on both layers. I only want it on this layer, so I'm going to hit M over here on my tab, or in my 3D viewport, and just go ahead and select that layer there. So I'm going to go ahead and just turn on only that layer, and let's go ahead and start naming these bones as we go. So just make this a little bigger here. Call this one lid B for lid bottom.L. And you know, at the beginning of each one of these, let's name these I don't know, DRV for driver, or actually CTRL for control. So control underscore lid bottom left. It's a long name. That'll help you. Excuse me. Man, this dry throat is crazy. That'll help you specify later on when you're adding different poses and things like that. So control lid bottom left. So I'm just going to go ahead and mouse over, Control C, and we're going to Shift D, duplicate that up. We're just going to do the left side first, and then we'll copy everything over to the right side. And that'll actually keep the same name, so we'll just name it lid T.L, lid bottom and lid top, and then maybe move that one forward just a bit. Maybe move that one forward just a bit too. Then grab that top lid, Shift D, duplicate that up. This will be the eyebrow area. So go ahead and call this one Control Brow dot L. Okay, and then let's go ahead and Shift D, grab it and drag it down to the side of the mouth, and then I'm going to go Control Alt S and scale it on the X-axis so it's nice and square again. We'll drag this. This will be the corner of his mouth for smiling and frowning. So go ahead and Control. Since it's going to be controlling the frown and the smile, I'm just going to name it mouth.L. Control mouth.L. This will be the left side of the mouth. Okay. And you know what? I think that's the only ones we really need to do that are specific to a side. So now I'm going to go ahead and pop my 3D cursor into the center. Shift S, cursor to center. Okay. Then go to my side view so I don't move it left and right at all. I'm going to go ahead and put it right there in the middle of the top lip. So I'm going to go Shift S, or actually Control A to add, or Shift A, I guess. There we go. Add a new bone, scale that down, Control Alt S, scale it. This will be the top lip. I guess I'll need some more controls for the sides of the top of the lip. So actually this one, it doesn't need to be on the top after all. It needs to be over here, slightly to the right. And go ahead and copy this name here, and you just got to hover over Control C, and then you go hover over Control V, and it'll automatically paste that. So we'll say mouth top.L. Okay, then Shift D, drag that down to the bottom, and call this one mouth bottom.L. Okay, and then now let's go ahead and Shift A since we're still in the center. Grab that bone, scale it down, move it on the Z axis, scale it down. This will be the chin/jaw. Okay, and go ahead and drag it up, Shift D, duplicate one, put it up here in the middle or just on the z-axis, put it there in the middle of the brows for the brow mid. Let's go and scale that down, and then come to our side view, make sure that's lined up there. Okay, so let's go ahead and make sure all these are named. I know the eyebrows and eyelids are, then the mouth corner is, mouth top, mouth bottom. This one needs to be control_chin. Okay, then this one will be control_brow mid. All right, so now the 3D cursor is still in the center of the scene. We can select these left bones and then hit the period button, so we're rotating around that 3D cursor. Shift D to duplicate those. Go ahead and click to lock in that duplication. Scale SX -1, and it'll negate them. You could also go to armature mirror right there on the X local. See, puts them right back. So I'll just right click out to cancel that. But now, since we had them named .L, instead of going through each one and renaming it to .R, we can go armature flip names, and you can see now it'll have a .R there instead of a .L. So this is left and right. So now one thing we need to do before we go any further is select all these guys, and then go ahead and turn on the layer that has the head bone, and shift select that head, Control P, so they're all parented to the head. So they all actually have to be in pose mode first, so you can see it controls those. Okay, so now I'd like to go ahead and put this head bone on the same layer as the face controls as well. So I'm going to hold down, or going to hit M and hold down Shift and go ahead and click that group there. So now on that layer you can see the head, and you can only animate just the head if you want to, and then this one will be for the rest of the body once we get to that point. Okay, so go ahead and turn that layer on there, and these are all pretty well set to go. We just got to start setting up the drivers, and that can take a little bit of time. So let's get rid of those relationship lines. If we come down here under display, you can see relationship lines. Go ahead and turn that off. That just tells you the relationship between the bones and their parents. So all of those bones were parented to the head bones. You see those dotted lines, that means that's where they're connected. So we'll go ahead and turn that off for now. And okay, so I'll go ahead and grab my head bone, and let's start with the left top .L. I'm going to right click there on the number right there and say add driver. And then once I come over to this window over here, let's go ahead and expand that out, make this a little smaller. Expand this window to about there. Go ahead and go to the graph editor, and instead of F curve, we're going to go to drivers. And you can see Micky head. Go ahead and expand out the key and value lid T.L, lid top left. So hit the little plus sign right there to expand this out. And now we go ahead and set the interpolation to linear. And turn on, instead of scripted expression, go to averaged value, and you'll see that error right there. Don't worry, we'll fix that here shortly. But now you come down under transform channel and go ahead and say control. Actually, it's going to be Micky rig, Micky head rig there, and then you can choose the control, and it's going to be lid top.L. So there we go. Okay, and we also want it, instead of X location, we want it to be Y location, and go ahead and set it to local space. So now if I come in here, zoom in on that, grab that, you see it affects it, but it's kind of the opposite of what I want it to do. So I've got to turn this, go ahead and under the place where we just added the eyelid controller, go ahead and hit add variable, and change this to, actually that's incorrect, go ahead and get rid of that, add modifier and say generator. That's what it is. And you want to set the Y to be a -1, and then that will control, well, set this to 1 and then the Y -1. Well, that's not working either. Okay, let me figure this thing out. I'll be right. Okay, frustrating sometimes. It was, I did it correctly the first time. Add the generator, set it to -1. I don't know why it wasn't working. Sometimes you have to say update dependencies to get it to refresh or whatever. But anyways, set that to -1, then you can move this, and you can see it actually moves the eyelid. But it takes a really long time to get that to go all the way. So instead of -1, we can set that to a little bit higher, say -5, and then it'll be a lot faster. -5 still seems like a little bit too less, so let's set that to -8. There we go. Okay. So now that we have that one set up, we can just copy it to the other ones and just modify it as we need to. So I'm just going to right click over here in the purple area, copy driver, then go to the next one, paste driver, and then go to the next one, paste driver. We'll do this on all 4 eyelids. Okay. Then we'll come over here and click and it'll automatically update. Go ahead and select the top right. So we're going to be affecting this one over here now. And we also need to change this to be right instead of left. And -8 will be fine there. Then on the bottom left, go ahead and set that to the right bone controller, bottom left. Okay. And then this time, we want it to be +8 there instead of negative. And then the same thing on this side over here. Set that to B.R. Okay. And then 8.0. Alright, so now both eyelid controllers on both eyes should work. So that one closes the bottom part, this one closes the top part. Same thing over here, and there we go. So if we want to close his eye, there we go. Just drag those until they're all set. Then we can clear everything out, just select everything, Alt-G, and it'll clear those back. Okay, moving right along. Now brow up, brow down. We can go ahead and do the same thing. I'm just going to go ahead and copy that driver there. Copy driver. Go ahead and paste it. And I'm just going to do it the one time this time. So I'm going to go ahead and change it over here. These windows have to be a specific width to be able to show the settings. Okay, so brow up.L. We need to change this to brow.L. And this will be -8, which I think needs to be +8 at this point to move the brow up. So we grab that, move it up. Yep. Okay. And then we'll just copy that driver down to the brow. I guess we'll go ahead and copy it to the other brow as well. Just paste it on all 4. Actually, all 6 because we'll do the. If I can select the right one. There, paste driver. All right. Apologize for my easily frustratedness today. Coffee's not working too well, apparently. Okay, go ahead and paste the driver. Paste the driver. Okay, so we'll come over here and go ahead and get this set up. That's the right one. Brow up.R needs to go ahead and say brow.R. There we go. Brow down.L can use the same brow.L that it was. Just need to change this to -8 instead of positive. Same thing on this side. Change it to brow.R and -8. Okay, and then brow up mid. This will be brow mid. Leave that at 8. Brow down. Brow mid. Oops. -8. Okay, so now all of our brows should be controllable. There we go. See how much easier this is than going through each shape key and figuring out which one you want, because you can do multiple ones at once, like so. And then so on and so forth. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and save this, and we'll go ahead and go on and do the rest of the drivers. Go ahead and smile. I'm going to go ahead and paste that driver that we had already. Go ahead and change this to mouth.L. And smile going up, so it should be 8, so it could be good to go. And copy that to the other side. Go ahead and change that to mouth.R. There we go. Everything else should be fine. Frown. Go ahead and paste that. Mouth.L. This time it'll be -8. It doesn't always have to be 8. You know, whatever number you find gives you the best distance to drag. So if I move this and say, maybe it'd be better with 1 if I could give it a little more. But I'll leave it at 8 because it works best for me. Okay, so I'll go ahead and copy that to the next one. Paste. Frown needs to be mouth R. -8. Good. And then jaw. We'll go ahead and say, go ahead and paste that. Come over here and just change what we need. This will be chin. There we go. And brow, jaw left needs to go, instead of up and down like we've been doing, we need to say X location. And I believe to go left it needs to be a positive. Let's put positive in there and see. Yes, so that'll work there. Okay, and then just copy that one to the other side. Paste driver for jaw right. And that'll use the same bone, but this time it's going to be -8. Okay, and then go ahead and paste it on the jaw down. Again, that'll be the same bone, but this time we're going to be Y location and -8, and then go ahead and paste that same driver for jaw jut. And this time we'll use Y location again, and let's use a little bit higher number, say 10 this time. Okay, so now we have all of those motions of the jaw connected to this one bone. So like I was saying before, we can just use this one to have him look like he's chewing something. So he's got a big piece of gum in his mouth, big old Charleston chew or something. So that'll be fun to animate. Okay, so keeping on, we just got a few more left. Let's go ahead and select that Smile R driver, copy that one, and go ahead and paste that on the lip top. Paste driver, there we go. And then go ahead and select this guy, make sure we go mouth top dot L, there we go. And +8 should be fine. Go ahead and copy that driver, paste it over the other side, paste. Make sure that one's going to top R, there we go. And then go ahead and paste it on the remaining two there. And make sure we say bottom, mouth bottom dot L, right? Yes. And then mouth bottom dot R. And go ahead and set the bottom ones to -8 and -8. Okay, so now we got, that's controlling that part of the lip. That was that one, therefore, and therefore. Okay, so you can go rawr all at the same time, or grab all four of these, and he's smiling and showing those top teeth, or frowning. Okay, so we just got a couple more shape keys. We got that smirk, which I'm not going to assign a value or a key, a driver to, at least not right now. We might later on, but actually, you know, it wouldn't be a bad idea if we wanted this part of his expression set. So I'll tell you what, let's do. Let's tab into edit mode there in the rig, make this area a little bit bigger. And let's just drag this a copy of the chin bone over to the side, and we'll just rename it to Control Smirk. Okay, and then I'm going to deconnect it from the head bone because I don't need it to follow along like the other ones. This is going to be just a control over to the side. And go to our bone settings there, and the parent right now is set to head, so I'll just go ahead and hit the X there and disconnect it. Okay, so that's going to be for the smirk, and then for the mouth wide, I usually throw in an extra bone here on the chin. Just drag it back kind of behind there, and just call this one Control Mouth Wide. Okay, and then we can tab back out of pose or edit mode, and then go to our data tab there, and go ahead and set the smirk. We can go ahead and paste a driver on there. Smirk, get this window a little bigger, and we're going to say Control Smirk right there. X location up 8 times. So if we come over here and just grab that bone over to the side, pull it up, you can see we can control a smirk over there. So that'll be handy when we go to animate and we want that as part of one of the expressions. We can just animate that instead of having to come into the shape key area. It's nice to have everything controlled by the rig that we can. Okay, and then finally the mouth wide. So we'll go ahead and paste that driver on there, and then come over here and say mouth control mouth wide, the very bottom one right there. Okay, Y location, let's go ahead and make that a -8, so we drag it down and it opens his mouth. It's a little more intuitive that way. So there we go. So this chin bone just selects the jaw by itself, but the other one selects that one. If you select both of them, make it really wide. Whatever. Okay, so we have all of our shape, or all of our bone drivers now. Tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and put that head just only on that first layer with all the other ones. That way this one's only the face controls. So now you can put whatever expression you want just by grabbing these bone controllers and not having to mess with the actual shapes at all. Okay, it might give you a better look if we go and turn subsurf back on. There. Okay, so there we go. And then if you wanted to go ahead and turn his head a little bit, go and select that. Okay, so now we'll look through the camera. So he's kind of giving us a bashful smile, like he's shy. Maybe rotating his head back a little bit. Okay, so I'll go ahead and do a quick render of that. Go ahead and pause recording while it's rendering. And there we go. I think that looks a little more natural than than the other pose I tried to render him out in. But yeah, so he's completely animatable now. So go ahead and kill that out. And I'm going to go ahead and save this. So probably just do one more part in this chapter 1 of his total creation. And then I'll be setting up setting up a pose library of different facial expressions so that we can animate him talking. So that, it might be actually 2 more parts. One is setting up the poses, and the other one doing some lip sync animation. So we're almost done with this chapter 1. Then chapter 2 we'll go on and do the rest of his body. Not sure how soon I'll get to that one, but we'll plan for it. So anyways, this is going to be it for part 19. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on part 20.